Welcome to another adventure to the top. In today's video, we're in Colorado again, with Brian from We the People 4x4 and Carl from UFO Droneworks. Darwin is headed home, and we're spending the day summiting Engineer Pass to 13,000 feet, and then exploring to an old mine site. Colorado is rich in history, and there's no shortage of places to stop and view this. But as we stop this day, the weather blows in faster than I've ever seen it in any mountain before, and the torrential downpour covers the trail in water. We find ourselves negotiating narrow shelf roads with slick rock, and before long I find myself in a precarious position with Brian on my sliders. I'm leaning 31 degrees off camber, off the side of the shelf road, and my tires are not sticking to the rocks. To say this was a little bit stressful would be an understatement.
Oh my God.
You see, trail conditions like this can put you on tilt, literally. And it only takes one mistake on trails that you do not know to ruin your day. It isn't long before we realize that the map, which marked this as a blue trail, had it wrong. It was actually a black or even a red trail in sections. So, nonetheless, with this knowledge, we carry on. We have to get down off the mountain and find camp. And we have plans tomorrow to meet a third Gladiator for the famous Poughkeepsie Gulch. But as the trail continues, there's non-stop rock crawling. It literally felt like it would never end, and in these conditions, everything is slick. So it takes a lot of focus for us to stay on top of our nerves. Some days, you just feel really close to the edge. You know that feeling. The one that makes them say, when it rains, it always pours.
What's up, guys? My name's Kyle. This is my 2023 Jeep Gladiator Alley Cab. I'm here with Brian from We the People 4x4 and Carl from UFO Droneworks. We camped here at this amazing lake last night, and yesterday completed Stony and Cinnamon Pass. Today we're gonna go try to knock off two badge trails. We're gonna start off with Engineer Pass and then get to Poughkeepsie Gulch after that. Some of the higher elevation trails have been washed out because of some storms that came through. We were camping at 12,000 feet the other night, so check that video out. But we're ramping up to get out here. Let's get it done. Come along with us.
And with that, we got on our way. Brian and I had talked a little bit about our goal for the day. Our plan was to get to Engineer Pass, about 13,000 feet. That would set a new high for the trip. We stopped in town, picked up some necessary supplies, beer, of course, and headed out through a canyon, snaked in and out alongside a river. This canyon was amazing, and with the drone in the air, it blew my mind some of the houses that were dotting the cliff sides. I don't think I would have saw these if I didn't have the drone out, but in retrospect, these are some of the coolest property locations I've ever seen. The canyon was beautiful. It reminded me of some of the canyons that you see in Utah, kind of western, but more with an oasis vibe. Clearly things were alive and well here. As we snaked in and out of the cliffside, we got deeper into the canyon. The river was beautiful, and every so often we'd see somebody parked along the side who was clearly exploring the area, whether it be climbing, or there was even some potential kayaking that was happening in this area as well. Colorado, much like British Columbia or Utah, has quite a robust outdoor culture, and that's one of the things that contributes to the experience. As you're out here on the trail going from destination to destination, not only are you seeing many other overlanders and 4x4s, but there's a whole group of recreationalists that are enjoying Colorado and what it has to offer. One of my favorite parts about this culture is the optimism that it brings. We all deal with things, but when we get out there and we explore in the outdoors with the fresh air, the scenery, mountains, rivers, and oceans, it changes the perspective. And I like anybody who's into that. Outdoors culture is something that I very much appreciate, and I'm excited to dedicate many more years of my life to embracing this culture. These places are very important because a lot of us get tied up in our career. We get tied up in our business. We get tied up into the challenges that are in front of us. But when you visit these places, it reminds you to prioritize the things that truly matter in life. And for a lot of us, that's getting outdoors, exploring the world around us, and spending time dealing with adversity. You have a choice in any situation. You can let it rain, or you can choose to see the sun.
All right, well, we're entering the Alpine Loop to Engineer Pass and then meeting up with another guy at Poughkeepsie. You can see here what they're saying, entering a remote area, no services, EMS. So, let's get it on. All right, so we're rolling towards Engineer Pass, which we are going to complete today. That's our first badge trail. And then we're meeting up with somebody at Poughkeepsie Gulch. One of my favorite parts so far about this trip is not even the trails themselves, it's the getting to the trail. There's so much scenic and so much scenery here that it's just completely mind-boggling. However, these trails are still very busy. Because, like we said, some of the bigger trails, like Imogene and Black Bear, got washed out by the thunderstorms that came through. Apparently a big mudslide on both. We might try to get up Imogene later in the week as far as we can, but it sounds like Black Bear is closed for a bit, so we won't be able to hit that one. Anyway, let's get back to it. It's a beautiful drive, and we got a little ways to go before we're at the trailhead and starting to climb. See what I mean? Just tons of amazing waterfalls all along this trail. We're not even at the badge trail yet. Man, Colorado's beautiful. It's like British Columbia, but it starts at 9,000 feet above sea level instead of ending at 9,000 feet above sea level. Man, I gotta come back and spend more time here. From the start of Engineer Pass?
We're really close.
Do you know what the elevation is that we're going to get there?
13,209 feet.
Dang, I can't wait for that. That'll be the highest I've ever been.
That's Rocky Mountain High for you.
I love it.
Welcome to Engineer Pass, 12,800 feet above sea level, with over 13,000 just around the corner. When we talk about bucket list items, this is what one looks like for me. $12,800 feet, new achievement unlocked. But we didn't stop there. This is just the photo op. Let's get ourselves up over 13,000 feet. I spent a long time searching for the top of mountains. Heck, the channel's called High Ground by Nightfall. I don't have many addictions, but getting to the top of big mountains has certainly become one. So this one meant a lot to me. In 2 days, I broke 2 personal records. I couldn't be more grateful to Brian for inviting me on this trip. And just as that excitement and that realization came over me, we started to climb around a corner, approaching 13,000 feet. And honestly, looking around at the shelf road and the surrounding mountains, I almost couldn't believe my eyes. It was one of those moments where it all feels like a movie. There's no time to pinch yourself though. On a shelf road like this, you gotta keep your eyes on the road. But you know that feeling. That feeling of, am I really here? This is too good to be true. And as we started to crest up and over the pass, the views of the next valley blew me away. It was like entering an entirely different climate, an entirely different zone. Trails as far as the eye could see. So we started descending. We started descending down into the valley. And we could tell that the weather system that we were running from all day, had either caught us or was dissipating. I wasn't sure which.
Alright, so we just checked in on our first badge of honor trail. This is Engineer Pass totally beautiful. And I'm really excited that the first badge of honor trail I'm doing is Engineer Pass. As an engineer, well, software engineer, if you can call me an engineer, this is a great one to start with. So we're checked in, and when we get home, we'll request the badge of honor, the hard badge. And I think what we're gonna do is maybe stick them right up here. Stick them right up there so that you guys can see them as we acquire them. So pretty cool experience here, and I'm excited. We're descending now, and we still have to get over to meet the homie at Poughkeepsie Gulch. I think that's how you pronounce it. We got a bit of time, and just enjoying it. Views here are incredible. This is freaking awesome. What a great trail. I'm enjoying this a lot. And I hate to jinx it, but I think this is the best the truck's ever run too.
And when I said the weather couldn't make up its mind, this is the perfect example. Moments ago, we were seeing suns peeking through the clouds. Now, we're dealing with a torrential downpour. It didn't matter that much. The trucks were running great, and there were some more interesting sections on the way down that allowed us to flex out our suspension. But this weather was confusing. I suppose, after reaching a new height, sometimes the rain will come. That usually is the case. The hard times usually follow the good times. And it's not clear why, but the good times definitely follow the hard times. The weather was representative of this, and it wasn't clear where we would end up. But for the moment, we were enjoying every minute of it. We had just reached the highest place I've ever been, and that's an accomplishment that I'm going to remember for a very long time. The sun that came out afterwards was almost a small reward, something that emphasized the enthusiasm we had for the moment. It's kind of crazy how this happens in the real world, but also in our life. They say perspective is everything. If you think about the name, High Ground by Nightfall, that is, it's just as metaphorical as many of these stories I tell. In my life, I tend to search for that high ground, knowing that I must pursue it before nightfall. High ground is metaphorically the good times. Nightfall is the hard times. And as I said, the good times will follow the bad times. And those are the moments that we must hold out for. The blue skies, the good memories. There's something special about that we all appreciate. But the truth is, it only lasts for so long. And before long, the darkness comes. I'm not trying to be too dramatic about it, but that's the reality. And in the mountains, on these journeys, you always have to remember that and have your wits about you to be ready. Because when the rains come, they come fast.
Are you vlogging?
I'm about to be.
You're vlogging.
You're a vlog.
I'm also vlogging. All right, well, we made it to this pretty cool abandoned mine. We're gonna have lunch here, but let's check it out. The fog just rolled in just as we pulled up. Absolutely crazy how quickly the weather changes here. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, this is way better condition than some of the cabins that we see in BC. I just can't believe how many mines there are and how many cabins and how good a shape everything's in. It's crazy. Whoa. This one's pretty cool. That's awesome. Old stove. Oh, there's an upstairs. Do I dare? Do I dare go up the stairs?
Oh my god, a homeless person!
Do I dare try the stairs? Oh. Yeah. I'm more worried about the whole thing falling over. I'm not going the whole way up, but. Oh yeah. Good view.
$1 million house.
She got a bit of a slope to her. Chimney's still intact. Chimney's in good shape. Dude, this is like crawling, rock crawling right here. That was some pretty technical trail there, hey?
Foot crawling.
Yeah. That was more technical than I thought it would be.
Man, better skip this step.
We had to come through that pond to get in here. Very cool. And look, there's all the old mine site equipment and stuff. Very cool.
Needs a little remodel. Might get a little drafty at night.
Well, we're going to take a quick pause, get breakfast going, and then on to the second batch trail. They say breakfast?
It's more like lunch.
Get some lunch going. It's almost dinner time.
Vlogging,
and then,
vlogging, you vlog.
And then we're going to what? The Poughkeepsie Gulch or something like that?
Poughkeepsie Gulch.
Poughkeepsie? No, I can't say it. Canadian, eh? All right, well, we're going to go do that, get our second batch trail on. Time for lunch. Well, we stopped so I could take a meeting and we should grab some lunch. And just as we stopped, the weather came in on us pretty hard. And now it's pouring and it's socked in, and we were messaging with the guy we're going to meet, and apparently a trail guide told him not to do the trail we're going to do in the rain. So we're going to pause, see if we can wait this out a little bit, but we might be stuck in the mountains tonight, to be honest with you. The weather comes in quick here. It's crazy how fast it came in. So anyway, let's wait it out, be safe, and we'll get out of here one way or another. The weather's going to improve a lot tomorrow, so worst case, we just set up camp and hunker down for the night, but it's kind of sketchy being in the, you know, we're at like 13,000 feet right now, I think. No, I'm underestimating. We're at about 12,000 feet elevation right now. We've come down. You can see right here, we're at 12,000. 11,600. So yeah, we're kind of, our goal was to come down through here and then finish and do, I think, Poughkeepsie, which I think is this one here, or it might be that one there. I can't really remember right now. But yeah, this pass down here is pretty technical. So we're just discussing it, and we're gonna kind of, I think, wait it out and then maybe come down through here. It's a blue, so it's not the end of the world, but yeah, you never know in the rain. And some of these blues that we've done have been pretty technical, and you may not want to do it in the rain. So yeah, hopefully this all goes okay and the rain holds up, but we're just gonna batten down the hatches for now and see what happens. All right, looks like we have a small break in the weather here. So this is the Windy app that I use, and you can see here the weather system that's rolling in on us, and there's no shortage. And that next one, that might be the one we're sitting in right now, it's hard to say, but we might have a little window here. So we're gonna try to move while the weather window's with us and see if we can't, yes, just while we're in there. We don't have much time, because then we're gonna get hit with all that. And we found a couple camp spots that we think we can go get ourselves to without too much drama. We don't really know. The trail is definitely gonna be wet and slick, and you gotta be careful on that. But we're gonna try to roll out while this weather is giving us a little bit of a light break, and try to get ourselves to camp, and then we'll finish the second batch trail in the morning. So stand by, and won't be flying much drone right now. The weather's just too much. We got to get out of here for safety.
I gotta get my windshield defrosted before we can leave.
There you go. We've been sitting in our trucks for about an hour. So yeah, we'll check in as we get closer to camp. Maybe run the GoPro a bit. We got to get out of here for safety reasons and get ourselves to camp. So let's hope this goes well.
As we left, we knew the weather window that we had was going to be tight, and the amount of rain that had came down was quite a lot. The trail was turning into a small river in places, clearly used as drainage, just as much as it is for overland travel. We were using Onyx on this trip. We thought it would have accurate data. It reported that this trail that we were about to take out was a blue. Blue indicates a moderate trail, not too complicated. But as we found out later when we reviewed the guidebooks, trails can have many ratings. And a trail that appeared blue on Onyx does not necessarily mean that the whole trail is actually of moderate level. Safe to say, I'm not a big fan of Onyx. Sorry to all you influencers who are collecting 15% while selling out local gems, but that data is not accurate. On this day, it would have been very helpful to know what we were actually signing up for. We found out later from a local that coming down this trail amidst a rainstorm was probably not the smartest idea. But at this time, we didn't actually know. So we kept pushing forward, thinking we would be fine. It's just a simple blue trail. And quickly, it became apparent that the trail was going to get a lot rougher and off camber. As I said before, conditions like this can easily put you on tilt. And the bad times, or at least the scary and challenging times, always follow the good times.
I think I came down right here.
I didn't do as much filming of this part as I would have liked. By this point, I was already fairly stressed out with a slick rock and narrow shelf road with an off-camber angle heading towards the ravine. But as we came down this particular rock face, it became obvious that the line that Brian took was not going to be as favorable for me. As always, the camera never does it justice. I'm about to be 31 degrees off camber, hanging over a 100-foot drop, with very little confidence that my tires are going to stick to the rock or stop me before the edge of the shelf road. I'm sure I'll take some flack for this.
Holy shit.
It wasn't that hard. It's not that bad. But you weren't in the driver's seat.
We should have just fucking camped right there.
And Brian's face says it all.
Oh my god.
People are always going to have the opportunity to pass judgment, especially after a rainfall. But realistically, it's only the driver whose opinion actually matters. You are the one at the wheel. You are the one dealing with the uneven terrain, the lack of traction. You're the one who still needs to get up the other side of the mountain to the high ground. And that's why they say, when it rains, it always pours.
Alright guys, I can't begin to tell you how sketchy it is coming down off this mountain in the rain. There's no way the video will do it justice, but slippery off-camber rocks, steep, random radio chatter in our ear. It's a sketchy one. Not sure how this looks on the camera, but not gonna lie, this is definitely a technical trail, especially in the rain. Oh, we're rocking. Okay. And you can see we're crawling up over all these wet rocks. But the good news is we're almost at the fork. We just got to get over some of this stuff. Oh, man.
That rock looks really slippery.
As we got lower into the valley, the rain started to let up. I was very grateful for this, but the stress of the situation coming down the first half of the trail and those off-camber, steep, rocky sections had already done their toll on me. I feel bad that I didn't film a lot of that, but luckily, Brian and Carl caught enough to make sure that I could tell you the story. My nerves were definitely feeling like they had seen better days. But I also started to feel something else. An excitement and appreciation for coming out the other side of what was one of the more challenging trails of the trip so far. We made it to 13,000 feet, and we conquered some of the most challenging weather that the mountains could throw at us. And the further down this valley we went, past extraordinary signs of washout, the more I started to appreciate that we were transitioning, ironically, back towards the high ground. So at this point, I decided it was a good idea to just sit back and enjoy the rest of the ride.
So what'd you guys think about that trail?
That was crazy. The last time that we did Mineral Basin, it wasn't nearly as bad. I didn't know that I did it. Before we were kind of just doing random trails, but now that we recognize it, it was way harder today than it was before because of all the washouts.
Yeah, I wonder how many of those washouts are like from the storm that just came through and fresh.
Oh, I bet it's all this week.
There was at least one moment where I thought I was gonna fall off the cliff sideways.
Yeah, I had to jump on the side of your rig.
Yeah, that was scary. You're gonna have to show me that. I literally stopped filming because there were some spots there where I was like, if I don't give this my whole attention, I'm gonna lose my truck.
That's when you need to film.
Yeah, well, that's when I need you to film.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, thank goodness, made it down safe, and we're gonna go find camp now and do a quick once over of the trucks, because that was a lot harder than we were expecting. It's supposed to be a blue run, but with the weather that came through, and you know, there's probably 50 washouts and all of the exposed rock and slippery exposed rock. It's almost the opposite of Moab. Moab, traction for days. This was the opposite. And at one point I was 31 degrees off camber with nothing but a sort of steep cliff and some alder trees to my driver's side. So glad we got down safe. Need a beer now.